we're going to talk about the Granetz mindset. Okay, so discipline and mindset, Sarah, take it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the first segment. Let's
Mhm.
really dive this thing here. Go ahead, take the rest of the segment. Talk about that's because that's big. We could do the whole show on this one.
We could. I more and more in my work with one-on-one clients, but also just being available and speaking with women on social media. Intention is everything. Your mindset really can make or break this journey. And like we were speaking about in the beginning, it's not just about fitness and nutrition and wellness. It's really any area of your life. You can tell yourself you're too busy. You can tell yourself you don't have time. You can tell yourself that your neighbor has it easier because of X, Y, or Z. But the reality is, if you choose to change your mindset or color your prism differently, like you say, it's freedom. It's the ability to do exactly what you want and honestly to do what you've said you're going to do, right? Because a lot of what we hear with New Year's resolutions are, I want this for myself. I want to be this person. But we're not really fully taking into account what we have to do to get there. So if we actually say, verbalize this goal that we want, and then the steps to get there become difficult, that doesn't mean that we just abandon ship. But what it does mean is that we have to be crystal clear on what we do want. And if that requires a bit of reframing or a bit of, actually, you know what, I need to extend my timeline, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging the circumstances that we have. We only have so many hours. Maybe we're taking care of a loved one, a child, a parent, etc. But there is time in the day. We can find it. It's there. We just have to have the ability to find it and really commit and not complain along the way. And so much of what I see is sometimes is our own minds are undoing things that are well within our capacity, right? If we think about a 30-minute workout, maybe 30 minutes devoted to nutrition, maybe 30 minutes devoted to an online course of some kind, right? Most people have that time, an hour and a half. Once again, maybe not in a single day, but over the course of a few days. And so really making sure that you're not getting in your own way mentally, because we can talk ourselves into anything.
What are some of the things that you hear from people that get in their own way? Like, because other people are probably feeling the same thing. Are there a variety of common, I hate saying excuses, but reasons? Are there some commonalities that you can share and people make them feel like, oh, I'm not alone?
Yes, yes, of course. So, like I said, the all or nothing mindset can be very present for a lot of women on this journey. I think, going out to eat can be a very simple, very universal example of, oh, I can't track because how could I possibly know what's on my plate? And then they just give up. And then one untracked meal becomes two, becomes three, becomes an entire week of not hitting my macros and, I'll do better next time, or I'll start again. That's really what gets me actually. I'm starting again on Monday. Can I reset my program? I need to start again on Monday. And I think that really does an individual disservice. First of all, like we said, we have agency, whether we want to admit it or not, in every single decision we make all day long, how we respond. Not saying that we are completely in control of everything, but we are in control of how we act. And so basically saying, oh, throw your hands up, it's out of my hands, right? How could I possibly know what this chef put on my plate isn't actually helpful. What is helpful is saying, okay, let's see here. This is about a fist size of chicken, and it's about a fist size of mashed potato, and it's about a fist size of green beans. I'm going to guess that that's approximately a serving each, right? Maybe a little more if you have a big hand, and move on with my life. I think that we let these single moments then can sometimes cascade, which can be very problematic if you don't have honestly, more mental control over your own thoughts. My mother used to say something that made me crazy as a child, but it was very true. Never believe everything you think. So you decide that this one meal is your downfall. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was, yes, maybe it was a little oilier than you like, but it's not actually setting you that far ahead because maybe yesterday you were a little bit off and you're not a robot, so your calories can fluctuate a little. And on the days when they fluctuate a lot, medical studies show that it's what you do consistently that matters. This is why diet breaks are so powerful. The 11-3 schedule, right? We have actual evidence and medical proof that temporary influxes of calories isn't necessarily a problem, right? Even if we are on we have a fat loss goal. it's the mindset around it. And one meal becomes three, becomes a week, becomes this need to feel this Monday refresh start. When actually, if I've learned anything in my 30 years, it's that Monday is the craziest day of the week. And so I think that's really what I hear the most. And I try to break down. Every day matters equally. You don't need to keep restarting because you're a human. And if you don't learn how to do it now, you're never going to. And this need to clean the slate it's not healthy.
Talk about weekend sabotage, because I see that a lot.
Yeah. So and honestly, I feel like more often now I'm seeing just full sabotage all the time. It doesn't have to be the weekend. We're mentally in the wrong place. You know, I think unfortunately, alcohol is extremely problematic for a lot of reasons. We now know it can lead to a lot of cancers, preventable cancers. I understand that there will be people who choose to drink. To your point, having this clear delineation between the person we are during the week and the person we are on the weekends is not productive, unless, of course, the person it's for a specific reason, right? So most people drink or, are drawn to eating in excess because they feel the need to de-stress in some way. Versus, if over the weekends you're very quiet, you do a lot of rest, maybe some meditation, maybe massage, sauna, right? That would be a productive way to channel those feelings. And everyone feels stress of some capacity, whether we feel it's warranted or not, right? But so I think this delineation between having these two personalities is extremely difficult to reconcile when you have more substantial goals, right? I'm getting my PhD now. I will be Dr. Sarah before I'm 40. And the idea that like I would just turn it off for 2 days is crazy to me. Who has time for that? But so I think part of it is making goals that are realistic, right? If you're going to go out and tailgate for 6 hours every Saturday and Sunday, probably you can't have a fat loss goal. You can't, because there's not enough room for food. But if you are going to say, you know what, I'm going to have my one night where maybe it's a date night, girls' night, etc., and the rest of the week I'm on, if that's the balance someone needs to make the rest work, that's okay. That's a move in the right direction. But there are some people, and I think I actually fall into this bucket, and more people do than they realize, that one night is the excuse to go, too crazy, too much excess, and actually channeling that into making every other day feel better that would be the win, right? If we feel so restricted Monday through Friday that we have to eat 4,000 calories on Saturday, that's a red flag. If our workouts are so long and we hate them so much that Saturday and Sunday we take 2,000 steps, that's a signal that something else needs to change, right? So I think some people simply don't have a grasp as well on their emotions as they want to admit. And the emotional piece then just bleeds into everything. And food neutrality, mindset neutrality can be a really powerful way to then become hopefully more positive. And I definitely focus a lot of my coaching on what are you telling yourself?
Sarah, how would you like people to connect with you? Tell people what you do with the coaching, with all your programs, the speaking engagements, everything where you're available to come out and coach people. Please go right ahead.
Sure. Thank you. So you can find me on social media at strong.by.Sarah. So strong by Sarah, separated by periods, on TikTok and Instagram. Instagram is my primary platform. So please leave a comment, send me a DM. I'd love to help you. I've decided that it's been my life's mission to help other women eat more, to get strong, and to learn how to really take charge of their mindset and change their own lives. So whatever your goals are, if you want to set up a consult, you want to talk about what you're struggling with, where your pain points are, I'd love to meet you. We do it all over Zoom. It's very easy. You can be anywhere in the world. If you really want that one-on-one coaching experience, I do offer that. We have a very full roster right now of amazing women, but there's always space if you are the right fit. There's an application on my website, so strong-by-sarah.com. So strong dash for the website. And then if you're just looking for a pre-made workout program, a nutrition plan that you can reuse over and over again, calorie calculator, all that stuff is also on my website. So if you're a little more confident in this space, but you just want to take your results and really get them moving forward in the right direction, we also have a lot of that kind of do-it-yourself type assistance for workouts, for nutrition. I'm getting my PhD in nutrition and exercise science, so I really am trying to make sure that I'm bringing education and understanding to everything that I recommend. It's really important to me that everything I say is based in something that's been proven, right? It's not just my opinion. So I'm here to help, as you said, mostly women. It's only one-on-one coaching for women, but these principles apply to us all.
Our next talking point is the easy nutrition cooking tips.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, you made that, you gave me that bullet point. You said easy nutrition. People are going to go, oh, it's so hard. It's, it's just so hard. I haven't done so too much time. All this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dispel some rumor. Let's dispel some bad info here. Go ahead, Sarah. You know.
So I'm not going to discount I'm not saying everything in totality, right? We still have to go to the grocery or somehow acquire groceries. We still have to have the pans, the kitchen equipment, etc. But the reality is that actually cooking most foods, it takes very little time. So if you are struggling with putting meals together and it's a time component and you think takeout is faster, it's just simply not, right? It's 2025. If you don't have time to go to the grocery store, you can order groceries to be delivered. If you want to lean into microwaves, using a microwave, using your oven, right? Pre-planning, meal prepping, there are so many tools at your disposal. But often what I hear is it just takes too much time. It takes about 5 minutes to cook an egg. It takes about 10 minutes to cook ground turkey, ground chicken of some kind, ground beef. Chicken will take maybe more like 15. But if you have a skillet, you have some avocado oil spray, you can pretty much cook any protein within 15 minutes. You can cook some kind of starch, potato, rice, and you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel every day, right? If you find something that works for you, you can keep eating it. Once you get sick of it, then you change it up. We know from a microbiome standpoint, the more diverse foods you consume, the better off you are. But we also can't hit every box. We can't check every box, right? If you're struggling with eating healthy, nutrient-dense foods, don't try to have a different menu, so to speak, every day. If you like chicken, great. Let's do chicken, rice, and avocado. Easy. You can zhuzh it up however you want, right? You can bake it on a sheet pan. You can cook it in a skillet. You can put it in the microwave in a potato pouch. My favorite thing, it cooks the potato in less than 10 minutes because I don't really use my stove. There's always a way around. If you really do not feel comfortable cooking, you can make Greek yogurt. You can have some protein shakes. You can buy pre-made, pre-cooked chicken, pre-cooked salmon, right? Frozen. There's services like Factor, which can make sense for some people. But the reality is that if you don't have time, you actually need to take a step back and say, I do have time. Where is that time? And if you truly are low on available minutes, is there a time during your week or that makes more sense for you, or can you outsource this problem, like I said, to a Factor type service? I have a few clients who simply, they say, I can solve this problem with my time, or I can solve this problem with my money. And sometimes for a certain period, we have to pick one or the other, and that is okay.
What about women that are a little older who might be premenopausal, menopausal, perimenopausal? What about the
Mhm.
older? Because really, those are that's a huge demographic, and we don't want them to be dissuaded when they see you and say, "Oh, I can't. This is for younger people. This is not for people like me." Is that
Mhm.
true? Am I saying something correct?
Yeah, so actually, the majority of my one-on-one clients are over 40. So I actually prefer to work with women who are a little older, honestly, because there's less of the emotional mindset drama. Obviously, that's not always something we outgrow. But a 45-year-old woman who knows that she can get to the gym on time every day is more susceptible and more open to coaching potentially than a 22-year-old who, like we were talking about earlier, is tailgating every Saturday, right? There's a clear difference in mindset. But I do want to say that we have two women on the team right now in their 60s, and one will be 70 next month. So I actually really do pride myself on working with women of all ages and meeting them where they are, right? The 69-year-old client and the 64-year-old client do not have the same program. They also have very different goals, actually. Just like 30 somethings as well. So it's super important to me, like I said, that I am continuing to educate myself on women's health and hormones so I can guide women through these journeys. Just because I haven't been through menopause doesn't mean that I am not really trying to understand what's happening and be helpful. And like I said, I personally am enjoying that journey a bit more with those women. The roster right now is just fantastic. It was a pinch me moment yesterday after all my calls, because I was like, I am so lucky I get to do this.
Sarah, how to focus on what matters and tune out the noise. I mean, we've kind of alluded to a lot of this throughout the show today, but this is, I mean, this is a big issue. And if people, if they focus on if their limiting belief is derived from the noise, the limiting belief is going to own them, right?
Yeah. So keep seeing more and more this obsession with the micro instead of being focused on the macro, this obsession with the minutia instead of having the big picture, right? So do I need to be on AG1 greens? Do I need to be on LMNT, right? The electrolytes? Do I need to be taking the Amara colostrum, something colostrum like that? But they're not hitting their protein goal. They don't even have a protein goal. They're not following the same workout program, right? They're doing Instagram workouts. And unfortunately, we end up spending our money on these very small solutions, things that are selling, total wellness and rejuvenation, but we're not even mastering the basics. And that's where the time and money can come in again, right? You're putting your money towards these things. This is something you say you want. You say you want everything that LMNT's marketing is promising you, but actually you could get that if you ate more protein, if you had nutrient dense foods, if you weren't picking up a protein bar, you were actually just eating more chicken at the next meal, or tempeh, tofu. This inability to not succumb to marketing, basically, and to understand that the basics are not sexy. They're simple. Good food, good actual food. Working hard, challenging in your workouts, whether you're training to be a strength athlete, an endurance athlete, or just a functional everyday athlete, and sleeping. And hopefully not throwing your money at these greens, electrolytes, colostrum products, when if you did the basics, you could be saving and not really, your attention would be more focused as well.
What would you like your takeaway to be from today's episode?
To try and make everything as simple as possible. It's not that complicated. And I don't say that from a high horse. I say it because people are more capable than they give themselves credit. Mostly eating whole foods, mostly getting as much sleep, mostly challenging yourself at least, 5 days a week. If you mostly do that, you are okay. And we can get into the minutia, right, of does a cheat day make sense for you? Just try to do the basics first. Try to show up every day as if it's Monday. Stop with I need a fresh start tomorrow. You don't. Right now, it's 3:00 on Friday, or, whenever this airs, just start now. The next decision is just as important as what you're going to do on Monday.
Sarah Granetz is awesome. She's greatness. And I just want to thank her so much for giving the time. She's very, very busy, but she's got almost 300,000 followers on Instagram, and she's actually very young. I mean, she's got it going on. I mean, got it going on. And Strong by Sarah, strong.by.sarah. That's how you find her on Instagram. But if you just look her up, Sarah Granetz, I'll have all the links in there. Until next time, everybody, it's been a pleasure. I'm Papa Tom, and this has been the Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for joining us and subscribing, doing all those good things. Please subscribe on YouTube. It's helping us. And please, please, please utilize our sponsor services, because they're the bomb. Until next time, peace out, everybody. Love y'all.